Imagine standing at one end of like a 1,000-foot hallway. You're trying to hear someone at the other end. By the time their voice actually reaches you, it's just this muffled, echoing hum, right?
Right, exactly. The physics is completely work against you there.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happens to analog audio when you try to push it across, say, a sprawling airport using traditional copper speaker wire. So, welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at how massive venues solve that exact problem with a highly specialized piece of hardware. It's the A-Neuvideo ANI-AD100 100-watt amplifier.
Such a fascinating challenge, honestly.
Mhm.
Our sources today are pulling from a really detailed product page from the retailer HDTV Supply, and it just highlights this massive engineering puzzle of commercial sound. You want to blanket a facility with audio, but the longer your analog cable run is, the more electrical resistance builds up.
Right, so you lose those crisp high frequencies.
Exactly. You lose the highs, and you pick up just a ton of electronic interference along the way.
And the traditional brute force fix was just thicker, incredibly expensive copper wiring. But this amp completely sidesteps that. It uses standard CAT5E 6 or 7 cables. I mean, the exact same twisted pair network cables running through office ceilings right now.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And the reach is just staggering. Using standard network cables, this unit transmits audio up to 985 feet at a 48 kilohertz sample rate.
Wait, 985 feet? That is basically sending pristine audio the length of 3 football fields using a standard internet cable.
I know, it sounds crazy. And even if you demand ultra-high fidelity, like a 192 kilohertz sample rate, it still reaches 279 feet, all while outputting 50 watts to 2 separate speakers.
Okay, so I want to make sure I grasp the mechanics here. Pushing analog audio is like that shouting down a hallway scenario we talked about, but transmitting it digitally over SIA cables is more like sending a sealed letter.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Like the audio is converted into digital packets. It really doesn't matter how long the hallway is. As long as the letter arrives, the receiver opens it and gets the exact pristine message.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. Because you convert the audio into digital data, you completely eliminate the impedance and that high-frequency loss that just ruins long analog runs.
Right. The degradation is just gone.
Completely. The data packets arrive perfectly intact, and then the amp converts them back to analog power at the very last second before hitting the speakers.
That makes perfect sense for the audio quality. But honestly, that kind of distance introduces a massive logistical nightmare. I mean, if my amp is sitting in a dropped ceiling 900 feet away and suddenly the microphone mix is too loud.
You can't exactly sprint 900 feet to turn a physical volume knob.
Right. I'm not doing that.
Exactly. And that is where the Unit's control systems really shine. You can mix a microphone directly into the output sound, but you control it all remotely. The specs actually list remote control via WebGUI, Telnet, or RS-232.
Okay, let's pause on those terms for a second. With a web GUI, which is just a browser interface, and Telnet, which is just basic text commands, I totally get it. But RS-232 is an old-school serial communication standard. Doesn't that make things overly complicated for the average user?
How so?
Well, if I have to run a completely separate control cable 900 feet just to turn the volume down, haven't we defeated the entire purpose of that easy CAT key click edit?
Oh, I see what you mean. If you had to run a separate cable, absolutely.
Oh, hell.
But here's the brilliant part of this device. It uses multiplexing.
Okay, what does that mean in this context?
So the RS-232 control commands travel over the exact same CI cable as the digital audio. They are multiplexed, which basically means they share the digital data stream without interfering with the sound at all.
Oh, wow. So the network cable isn't just carrying the audio packets, it's simultaneously carrying the digital twists of the volume knobs.
Precisely. A single technician sitting in like a central server closet can manage the entire venue's sound profile without ever leaving their chair. It centralizes everything perfectly.
That is incredibly efficient. And for commercial installers, especially, those bidding on government contracts, there's another crucial spec here. It's TAA-compliant.
Right, the Trade Agreements Act, which basically means the hardware is manufactured or substantially transformed in the U.S. or an approved country.
Yeah, which is a hard legal requirement if you're installing these in a federal building or like a military base. You literally can't even get your foot in the door without TAA compliance on a federal bid.
Oh, absolutely. And HDTV Supply backs the unit with a 3-year warranty, which is honestly exactly what installers need when they are burying these things deep in permanent infrastructure.
So we are really looking at a heavy-duty 6-inch metal box that basically solves the physical mess of distance with incredibly clean digital efficiency. It's bridging the gap between long-haul digital networking and localized analog muscle.
It really is the invisible backbone of commercial audio.
It's wild to think about. So the next time you hear a perfectly clear announcement echoing through a sprawling airport or stadium, ask yourself what other hidden long-distance tech bridges are silently shaping your daily experiences without you ever noticing.